Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Aliens and UFOs video. As you just saw the other week, I just finished another wonderful book for this channel involving the world of aliens and UFOs, and I had mentioned that I was going to find another one here to talk about soon. Well, lo and behold, I did find one here, a really interesting book. The title immediately caught my attention, and then when I was looking at the information associated with the chapters, and then briefly looking at some of the pages within the chapters, I knew this was it. This was the one that I was going to talk about next within my channel here. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start this book that's called Alien Contact, Top Secret UFO Files Revealed by Timothy Good. Great title, right? Alien Contact, Top Secret UFO Files Revealed. It makes it seem like it's very hush-hush, like this is the kind of stuff that is behind blue tape and some kind of other marked out things, and then you're finally seeing the information for it. So really good stuff. So I decided to go ahead and let's share that here. But yeah, some of the chapters really stand out because they talk about, of course, some confrontations, some items involving locations like Colorado, some liaisons apparently within the world of aliens, certain projects, technology in the world of aliens as well, and so on. So it's going to run for almost 250 pages or so. So lots of good information to share. So without further ado, let's start this. This is not chapter 1. This is actually the beginning part of the book. One part is going to feature a commentary, and then the other part is going to feature an introduction. And then I'll pause it there and then go ahead and start talking about chapter 1 in the next go around. So let me know what you guys and gals think. I'm going to go ahead and start this book here. I'll give my own thoughts and opinions on it afterward. And then who knows how long this will take, but I'll definitely finish this book later on. So the first part is called Commentary. It comes from a Admiral of the Fleet, the Lord Hill Norton's GCB, Chief of Defense Staff, 1971 and 1973. And here's what he has to say. I have known Tim Good for over 10 years, during which I have formed the opinion that he is both honest and reliable. I am quite sure that he is not a nutcase, and equally sure that his long and diligent investigations have been efficiently conducted and the results carefully and accurately reported. All this makes the astounding reflections in this book impossible, certainly for me to dismiss unless or until they are equally publicly disproved. The plain fact is that either what he reports here is true or it isn't. If his accounts of recovered UFOs and their alien occupants being in the hands of United States government agencies, and perhaps those of the former Soviet Union too, are not true, then it seems that many important and distinguished former public servants have perhaps lied or have been grossly misreported. In the latter event, one must expect and hope that they will take the appropriate legal action to set the record straight. In the same way, the apparently hard evidence of all sorts of other UFO information given by dozens of people, many of them prominent persons in Australia, Belgium, Brazil, Mexico, Puerto Rico, the United Kingdom, the United States, and the former Soviet Union, is either true or they are lying, hallucinating, or again, have been grossly misrepresented. Since most of them are named by Tim Good in this book, they must now either put up or shut up. Some of those prominent persons in the United States to whom Good has referred have denied what he reports to them to have said. I find it significant that they have taken no other action, either publicly or in the courts. No doubt readers of this edition will draw their own conclusions. And then it's signed Hill Norton, April 1992. All right, and then this next part is the one called Introduction. So this is, again, pretty much kicking things off from the book from Timothy Good. So here's what it says. So vast is the complexity of this multifaceted subject that it resits a single, all-encompassing hypothesis to account for the many inherent paradoxes that confront us. In Alien Contact, I have chosen to concentrate on those facts of the unidentified flying object, UFO, enigma, which I hope will shed new light on the overall picture. As far back as 1952, the then director of Central Intelligence, Walter Bedell Smith, recognized the need for a multidisciplinary approach to the subject. He He said, "It is my view that this situation has possible implications for our national security which transcend the interests of a single service." He wrote in a memorandum to the Executive Secretary of the National Security Council. He said, "A broader coordinated effort should be initiated to develop a firm scientific understanding of the several phenomena which apparently are involved in these reports." Thousands of documents on UFOs have been released under provisions of the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, in the United States by agencies such as the Central Intelligence Agency, which is the CIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency, the DIA, the Department of State, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, i.e. the FBI, National Security Agency, the NSA, and the Air Force, Army, and Navy intelligence branches. The fact that research into UFOs by these and other agencies was long denied, with a few exceptions, and that thousands more documents remain classified and therefore exempt from disclosure is proof, if proof were needed, of just how serious these matters are taken. While my last book, Above Top Secret, proves beyond any doubt that a massive cover-up has been in effect since the late 1940s, Alien Contact takes us one stage further by partially exposing what has been hitherto withheld. That is, some UFOs are indeed extraterrestrial in origin, that alien bodies have been recovered, that a few craft have been test flown, and that contact has been established even at an official, if restricted, level. Since these claims are certain to be misrepresented, let me emphasize that only a relatively few people in governments and the intelligence community are aware of the situation. The most sensitive information about UFOs is handled at a need-to-know level, restricted to those with very high security clearances. In one case, as we shall learn, allegedly as high as 38 levels above top secret. Given that there is truth behind these allegations, I readily concede that even the knowledgeable elite remain baffled by the bewildering diversity of reports with which we are regularly confronted, and I am certain that considerable confusion exists in high circles as to the nature of the more bizarre encounters. I have not shied away from these reports, such as the animal mutilations, which will be covered in Chapter 2, and the extraordinary but illuminating experiences which befell several witnesses on a ranch in Colorado, which will be Chapter 3. Much of this information is controversial and disturbing. Alien Contact does not go into an in-depth analysis of either abduction or contact stories, except in those cases I have cited that reflect my own bias in support of certain relevant hypotheses. The stories I have selected stretch the boundaries of belief, and although skepticism is warranted, it would never be forgotten that many extraordinary technological and other human developments which we now take for granted were initially regarded with disbelief or ridicule. How many of us would have believed, for example, that the Soviet Union would collapse in 1991? When marvelous events are said to have happened, the natural tendency is to disbelieve, partly because we do not want to appear gullible, but also because we are simply confounded when presented with unfamiliar concepts. I am certain, therefore, that the concept of extraterrestrial visitation will become increasingly acceptable in due course. As described in chapters 6 and 10, the American intelligence community, Appendix 1, has made several attempts at indoctrinating the public about some of the realities involving the UFO phenomenon. Although what has been revealed is undoubtedly diluted with disinformation intended to confuse and deceive, it is important to stress that official disinformation on the UFO subject would be pointless if there was nothing to cover up. In addition, both covert and overt disinformation usually incorporate a certain amount of genuine information that sometimes provides signposts to the truth, as we shall learn in the concluding chapters. It is my belief that there is a sincere desire on the part of those in authority to release certain unequivocal material, but that there continues to be reluctance to do so owing to economics, political, religious, and sociological considerations. Perhaps the revelations made available to me for publication in Alien Contact will facilitate the official release of some of this material in the not-too-distant future. Then that's it. That's at least the introduction that I was just talking about here, and then the previous initial opening commentary. So let's talk about that, at least with regards to this part. So the commentary was done by the Lord Hilton Norton, GCB, Chief of Defense Staff, back in 1971, 1973. So it looks like his part was put here at the very beginning to show some credence. Like, in other words, he wouldn't do this unless he certainly believed the information within the book. It looked like it was written by him, and then it was signed by him afterward. So who knows? Maybe the author Timothy Good asked him, "Hey, can you go ahead and create an initial commentary for my book?" Or maybe this Lord Hill Norton GCB decided to do it on his own. Like he said, maybe I can do it for you, and then that way I can help show some positive support for it. But yeah, it was just a quick commentary about him and the fact that he doesn't believe Timothy Good is a nutcase, as he mentioned, and so that's why he's providing his support here. And then the next one is the introduction from Timothy Good himself, once again the author, and he highlights some interesting things that are come about in the book. Chapter 2 will talk about animal mutilations. Chapter 3 will involve something happening in the ranch there in Colorado. The thing that stood out the most to me was the fact, and let's see if they talk about this later on, about very high security clearances. He said, as we shall learn, as allegedly as high as 38 levels above top secret. You would think top secret is it, like that's the actual highest mark, but no, there's apparently many, many more levels. And in this case, he described it as high as 38. So who knows how far it goes beyond that. But can you imagine what would be that high? What type of information would be that much above top secret clearance that it has to be at level 38? So I can't wait until we talk about that later on. But yeah, otherwise that's it. That's the actual first part here of Alien Contact, Top Secret UFO Files Revealed by Timothy Good. Next part, we're going to actually delve into Chapter 1. So I can't wait to share it with everyone here. All right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care.